love to ask is there's so much out there, right? Flooded on the internet. And so how did you come across Marriage Mastery, Josh Hudson, and trust somebody online, like with your marriage and how things were going?
Honestly, he was the first video that I ever saw about, marriage counseling or what, So when I saw him and I saw a video and I said, I got to see some more of these. So I started watching a lot of his videos before I even uh, signed up. You know,
Oh,
I
wow.
just, I just, I just liked what he was saying. It was what I felt like that's what I needed.
Yeah.
So he was
What
right spot
like
on.
resonated with you?
Um, I think he mentioned it in several of his videos that that this particular program was set apart because of the Brothers in Arms and the support group on Facebook, and that's what I felt like I needed to speak to other guys that were doing the same they were going through the same thing, and it's really helped. I've got a brother in arms that's just 20 minutes away from here, and we speak a lot. His name is Chris, and yeah, he'll call me, or I'll call him, at different times of the day, and we also see each other on the Facebook group as well. So I
Yeah,
try
that's
to.
awesome. I know you guys connected because you live in Texas and you're like, hey, we're 15, 20 minutes apart. Let's get together. And I'm so happy you're able to connect with someone. Yeah, feeling like you're not alone. Other people are in this and to be able
Yeah.
to have that is super important. Before you started the program, how were you feeling and where was your marriage?
I was feeling desperate, basically, just because I felt like I was Um, it just came out of nowhere, but I know it's been going on for years, what she's been feeling.
Right.
So, but it felt like I was blindsided by it when she just told me that she needed space and that she felt like she wanted to walk away. And she'd said that before to me. And I felt like, I didn't believe her at the time. It was just one of those things that was going on in our marriage at the time. But when she told me this time, I could really tell that she meant it, and it just took my breath away. So I was desperate, and I don't even know how it came up on my. I just saw a video of Josh with his green
Yeah.
background, and he was talking.
You
Yeah,
remember so well. Yeah.
yeah, and he's so convincing, and he was just like, I felt like he can help. I know him and his team can help me.
Mm.
Anything else, it was just so fresh that it happened. I've always just been very focused on my work. But when she opened my eyes, I started realizing that I hadn't been putting her first. I hadn't been putting our marriage first. It was about the kids or my work. And she would get, busy at work as well. So, uh, and I just didn't know what she was going through. Uh, I kind of maybe I took her for granted. So.
Mhm.
And I feel like if she wouldn't have done this, if she wouldn't have woken me up, I wonder where we'd be right now. Maybe
Yeah.
she would have walked away, and
Right.
not given me a chance. So I'm grateful for the opportunity to work on myself and all that. So I'm grateful that she woke me up.
So if we look at how are things different now on a personal level, what would you say? How's the program changed you just like on a personal level?
On a personal level, I see things differently now. I actually am. I look at other people differently. I want to be positive more. I did
Mhm.
see that I was getting very negative, but I'm changing that. I've changed my routine in the morning. I'm not complacent anymore. I get up at 5:30 every morning, go for my bike ride, come back, and I do some calisthenics and things like that. Get ready for my morning, and my wife sees that, and she's congratulated me, and she's very positive about that. She tells me she's glad that I'm doing it for myself.
Going through the program, where are you now in your marriage and like how is it with your wife and your relationship?
You know, it's like like the ebb and flow, right? we
Yeah.
have good days and we have bad days, and I try not to focus too much on the bad. I try to um, listen to her and try to, empathize um, and let her know that I'm listening, and make eye contact and all that. So I think that goes a long way because may have been before when she would talk with me, I wouldn't look at her. It would
Mm,
just come in one ear and out the other, and it was disrespectful to her. But I'm trying to be better about it, be
yeah.
more conscious. And but as far as the program has really taught me to be better at communicating with her. That's a big one, and to not be complacent.
You have had so many wins. Would you share like a few that stand out for you where it's like, wow, I didn't even know I'd be here, you know, despite like what our conversation was, her wanting space to now. Like, are you comfortable with sharing some of the wins that stand out for you?
Sure, yeah. What probably the biggest win was when because we'd been sleeping apart for 3 or 4 weeks, and that was the hardest thing for me because we've been married 23 years and that we've never been apart. And so uh, when she was on the couch or when I was on the couch, I would tell her, "You go to the room. I'll stay out here." We don't have a very big room, so we've got a 3 bedroom, and they're all taken.
Yeah.
So that's how we were doing it. And so that was the hardest part. But the day that she told me, "I'm ready. I think I'm ready for us to sleep in the same room, same bed," and that was the biggest win for me. And ever since then, I'm just try to be there for her. I'm trying to be respectful of her space as well. And there's times that we're intimate, and it's so much better now because it's like, okay, she wants me to be with me and I want to be with her.
Yeah.
And whereas before, sometimes it was just maybe felt like an obligation, maybe, being married, but now it's different. It's different, um, and we're kind of like dating again in a
Yeah.
way, And she wants to look her best, and I see her now more in her feminine than I've seen her in a long time because I've stepped up and I started to take the lead and doing things that I need to do, and she's in her feminine, and I'm trying to stay in my masculine role. She would not wear her ring. For it was months that I noticed, or
Yeah.
maybe even longer than that, that she would not wear her ring. So I went ahead and I took her ring from her spot and I went and took it to the jeweler and I had him check the diamonds and clean it. And when I got it back, I put it in a jewelry box and she noticed it was missing. And it was probably about 4 days after I'd taken it that she didn't say anything. So
Right.
that one time. And when she saw that, she asked me, "Where's my ring at?" And I said, "Your ring?" She goes, "Yes, don't, you took it. I know because it's not here." And I
Yeah. Don't
said,
play with me.
"Yeah." So I said, I went to the jewelry box and I said, "Here you go. Here's your ring." And she
Mm,
looked at it and she said, "Thank you so much for that," because that's why I haven't been wearing it because I was afraid that maybe the diamonds were loose and it was real dirty. And I said, "Okay."
yeah.
And she gave me a hug, and that was even before we were in the same room. I had done that for her. And I think maybe that may have been one of the reasons why she was feeling better about us and invited me back.
Yeah.
But that was a great win right there. And whereas before, I think we would, when people we're married, we argue. There's things that we don't agree on and stuff like that. But I think even when we're discussing things, I'm not reacting anymore. Whereas before, I used to, be very defensive or tell her, "No, that's not right. We're going to do it this way."
Mm,
And that's how she felt like it was either my way or the highway
yeah.
before. But now I'm listening to her and I'll respond to her, and it's not an argument anymore.
Maybe conclude with what are maybe the three top things you've learned from Marriage Mastery? I know the biggest thing you love is the brother in arms and that support and community, but in terms of just like principles or anything like that, what do you feel like are the top three things that have really helped you?
The top three, I've just, as far as, being taught to be a man, to be the man that I'm supposed to be for my family,
Yeah,
um, and be the leader of my family. That's big for me. For the longest time, I pushed stuff onto my wife, and she was in a masculine role at work and at home,
yeah,
and that's where a lot of the problems stem from. But yeah, me stepping up to be the man. So communication, leadership, and not being needy. I was very needy and always in her space, and she was. I always use the example of Pepe Le Pew and the little cat, right?
oh
So
my
how she's always
gosh.
trying to push him away, and he's just wanting to love on her. That's how I
Yeah.
was,
Mm.
and
Oh
so
my gosh, I love that analogy.
I, I've learned that I don't need to be that way anymore. And, of
Yeah,
course, through the program, I've also learned that, I can, you know, give her space and then, do some nice things for her. And then, in turn, and then push her away a little bit, and then she'll come to me. And I'm
yeah,
realizing that more. And so I'm not in her space all the time.
right.
It really feels good when she comes to me because it's always been the other way around.
Well, I know this journey, like I always say, it's not linear, it's continuous. So where are we at this point and where do we go from here? If there's any guidance you want, or what do you see in the future with your marriage and your wife?
I think we're on the verge of reconciling. I just feel like right now, I just have to maintain what I've been doing because if I
Yeah,
fall back, she's going to notice it. So I'm really trying hard to stay on top of getting up early and starting my day off because that kind of gives me a little meditation in the mornings, to see
yeah,
how I'm going to be in my day. So that helps out a lot. And then, but I think we're close. I think we're really close. Um, she hasn't said, we still need to do some talking about things, but I don't think we have had the opportunity yet, and maybe in the later stages of this program, I'll learn when to do it and how to go about doing it. And that's where I'm going to need you guys to help me to, talk about things,
yeah.
going forward. But as far as, her acknowledging me and me acknowledging her, I think we're in a better place. You know, we're in a really good place. I told her one day that I had run into the guy that she fell in love with, and she looked at me like, "What?" And I said, "Yeah, I ran into the guy. I had just come back from the store. I ran into the guy that you fell in love with." And she's like, "Well, who is that? Brad Pitt?" And I'm like, and I said, "No."
I love
I said,
it.
"No." I said, "It's the guy that married you 17 years ago." And she was like, "Wow."